Good morning, everybody. It is May 9th in Upper Peninsula, and we are on the Garden Peninsula, getting ready to look for some mushrooms. We're going to go into these popple trees back here, and we're expecting to find them today. So let's go take a look. So we're out here wandering around in one of our best morel spots, and usually we find a lot of morels here, but today, so far we've only found 4, and they're really tall and dry. So seems like we waited a little bit too long to get to this spot, but we're going to move over to a different one and see if we can find any. Here's what I got so far. It's okay, but a little dried out. Well, it's pretty disappointing so far. I've only found 4 morels between the two of us, and they are tall, dried out. Slugs have been eating them, and it's only May 9th in the UP, so they're already dried out, but the weather has a lot to do with these things too. It's some real hot weather and not a lot of rain, so that's probably why they look like they do. We're going to try to find some spots that are in the shade more. Maybe we can find some fresher looking mushrooms that way. But we're not going to give up yet. We're going to keep on trying. Hi there, it's May 11th and I'm back on the hill where the popple trees are. At the beginning of the video we were down in the Garden Peninsula and we didn't have very good luck there. We only found about 10 morels and they were all dried out and hardly edible, so we're just going to put them back in the woods and maybe they'll grow more morels next year. So I thought I would come back up to the hill that I started on to begin with and see if maybe I can find a few more. The season may be already over. It's ridiculously short. This is why most people miss out on morels, because you just have to have your timing right. And ideally, you should get out there before they're even up. Like when I come out to look, you know, they're the size of a dime. I like to go out early and just make sure that they are there. And then when I see them that size, I come back about a week later and start to pick them. So in my video when I said morel season is like 10 days to 2 weeks long, I meant 2 weeks because at first you're just out looking for very small morels in areas where you know that they grow, just to make sure that they're up. You know, it can be kind of unpredictable where you find morels. I usually try to look around in popple trees. That's where I've had the best luck, but I've also found them like around cedar trees and around spruce trees and occasionally around pine trees. You know, campgrounds are a good place to look. Right in the campsites, a lot of times you can find morels. So they're kind of an unpredictable thing. I think I've had the best productivity though, looking in the popple trees, so that's pretty much what I try to focus on. Some years are definitely better than other years. Some years I've only found like maybe 10 to 20 morels after a lot of walking, and there's been other years on this hill that I'm on where there's morels everywhere, and you couldn't even pick them all, there was so many. I'm looking forward to a year like that again. They sure taste good. We'll be looking for yellow morels too now in the next few days. They're not quite as easy to find, and there's not many American elm trees left, so, or ash trees, which are trees that they typically do grow around. Our ash trees have been almost completely wiped out by the ash borer. It's very disappointing. I've been walking for about 10-15 minutes so far, and I have not been able to see a morel yet. So I'm probably going to get on my four-wheeler and try a different spot up here. It looks like morel season may have come to an end already. That's a bummer. It looks like I'm going to have to move on to maybe picking asparagus. So I might do a video on that in a few days. If the morels have started to dry out in your area, you can move north a little bit because the morels, they actually follow the lines of longitude. Starting in, like say, South America, they work their way up about 100 miles a week until they go out of the top of North America. So where I am right here in the central UP, I'm only 25 miles south of Lake Superior, so I don't have a lot of options here for moving north. So I try to predict when morels are going to come out according to where they are south of us, like in Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois, and also lower Michigan. And then I can estimate the time that I'm going to see them up here in the UP. And I have seen them every year, but they're not. It's not always a good season, though. That's the thing. The weather has a lot to do with it. Well, the only thing that I'm finding so far are false morels. And that's no good. And they're not dried out, like the morels are that I have found. The woods are getting very, very dry. You can probably hear it on there. It's pretty crunchy sounding. I'm kind of shocked that I just found this morel. So, it's right there. I guess I can keep on looking. It's a little sign of encouragement. Not a bad one. It's not a very productive day looking for mushrooms, so I'm probably going to go home and maybe wax my truck instead. One thing about morels too is that when they come up for the season, they're basically up. They don't keep coming up like a week later a whole nother set doesn't come back up. When they come up, they're up, and you know, there might be some small ones and some big ones, but they pretty much come up and then they're up. They don't keep coming up. Like if it rains again, we're not going to get a whole another set of black morels. So this is what you get. It's a very, very short season. So I do see a tiny little morel right here that I'll pick. I only have 2 so far today. And I'm going to give up pretty soon. In my opinion, the black morel season in the central UP is almost over. It'll be time to move on to looking for yellow morels, if you can find them. Here's a morel, right in the center of the screen there. It's pretty good. A little dry, but definitely edible. If you didn't have very good luck this year with looking for morels, I think next year, maybe like the end of March or something, I'll do another video on what to look for, you know, signs in the environment of when you can go look for morels and not miss them. So if you didn't find them this year, there's always next year. Maybe it'll be a better year anyway. Well, I just spotted a pretty decent looking morel. Looks pretty good. Right there. May 11th, Central UP. You know, that actually is pretty encouraging. That looks pretty good. And here's another one just by that one that I picked. Down in here. There we go. Another nice morel. They do have a pretty unmistakable color, so when you get used to looking at that color, seeing that color and the shape, you can kind of stand back even on the trail and look into the woods and look for these poking up. And another one. But they're adding up really slow today. So I took my fourth or fifth one. Not too good. And another morel right over there, right in the center of the screen. Here are my morels for today, 5/11. Not too bad, about 15 in there. They're a little bit dried out, and I would probably go again for another day or two if I had the time, but I don't. So if you want to get out there, you need to hurry up. You probably only have 2 to 3 days left to find these. Have a great time. The total for this year is about 125 morels. And just standing here looking at them makes me want to go back up there again tomorrow, so you never know, I might see you back up in the woods. See you later.